Hi students, this is Madhu Dharmapuri and I welcome you all for the electrostatic lecture number 4, in which we are going to discuss about electric flux. Very important concept in electrostatics, which leads to the Gauss law. Gauss law is very important in electrostatics, which is used for finding electric field due to different charge distributions. Okay, so that is why electric flux is very important, because it leads to Gauss law. Okay, so electric flux is a measure of electric field lines passing through some area normal to the plane of the surface. Okay, so before we go into the details of electric flux, because the electric flux concept is involved with the area of the surface, it is very important to know more about area. Okay, so what is area? Area, is it scalar or vector? It is a vector quantity. The most important point about area is a vector quantity. Okay, so let us see first area vector for different kinds of surfaces, that is two-dimensional surfaces and three-dimensional surfaces. Okay, so area vector denoted with A bar. Okay, so we will see for 2D surfaces and 3D surfaces. Because area is a vector which has direction, it is very important to know about the direction of that area vector for the object on which charge is distributed. Okay, so for 2D surface, usually we call 2D surfaces as open surface. The example for this kind of surface is, take one square for example of side A. Okay, so imagine this is in xy plane, this is x and this is y, and if this is z. The object that we have considered is in the shape of square, which is in the xy plane, whose side is A. And if I ask you what is the area of this square, it is a vector. It must be written as A cross A, which means A sin theta, the modulus of this area, magnitude of this area vector. A square sin 90 you will get here. See, this is one A and this is another A. What is area? It is length into width. So this A into this A. But that multiplication should be a vector product, not scalar product. Okay, so you will get A square sin 90, which is A square. What we say is, whenever you get a question like what is the area of square, you just say A square if its size is A. But A square is just a magnitude of the area of this square. But what is the direction of this? So if you see any vector product, for example, if C bar is the resultant of two vectors having two vector product, then the resultant vector is always perpendicular to A bar and perpendicular to B bar. If C bar is the resultant vector of A cross B, then C vector will be perpendicular to A as well as perpendicular to B. Now if you see this, our area vector here should be perpendicular to this and should be perpendicular to this, length and width. Of course they are same in the case of square, but this must be perpendicular to this and this. Means which side, what is the direction of A? Area vector. See, this is in the plane of x comma y, xy plane. Then it should be perpendicular to this plane because it is perpendicular to this A and this A, length and width. So this area vector is along either positive z direction or negative z direction. It can be in any way you can take. That means this can be this side, positive z direction, or that side. For example, imagine this is a square. This is A, this is A. And area of this square would be either this way or this way, back. Normal to the plane of this object, this xy plane. If this is in xy plane, this would be z. And z can be either positive direction or negative direction. So area vector is normal to the plane of the surface. Okay, so this is about this square, which is a 2D surface, open surface. Right? Similarly, we can do this for a circle also. For example, if this is a circle whose area is pi r square, if its radius is r, then the area vector of this circle would be either this way or this way, but perpendicular to the plane of this circle. Perpendicular to the plane of this circle. Area is perpendicular to the plane of the circle, either this way or this way. Okay, so you can also take one rectangle in shape. So this is length, and this is width. Area must be length into width. It's a cross product between length and width, and that area vector should be perpendicular to this plane, either this way or this way towards me, this way or this way. Okay, so area vector for 2D surfaces, area vector direction for 2D surfaces is either inward or outward normal. Normal means perpendicular. Both directions are correct. Both directions are correct. In case of 2D surface, in case of open surface, just like I have shown you some examples of square, circle and rectangle. But remember, area is a vector which has a direction, and direction of the area is always perpendicular to the plane of that surface. Okay, now we will see how this area vector direction is considered for 3D surface or closed surface. Okay. For 3D surface, which is also called as closed surface, what is closed surface or 3D surface? It has a surface which is closed. See, if you see this, it is a spherical surface. It's a sphere in shape, which is a 3D surface. Right? And what about the area of this? Surface area of this? What is the direction of it? See, direction of this sphere would be always perpendicular wherever you take, whatever the small, for example, if you divide this into different segments on the surface, then at each segment the area vector would be perpendicular to that surface, this way. Everywhere on the surface the area vector is perpendicular to the surface or plane of that surface. This is for sphere. If you take as a cylindrical surface, it should be a closed surface, remember. It's a cylindrical surface. For example, if you take this, here the area vector would be like in this way, direction of area vector, and for here it is in this way. And for this curved surface of this cylinder, everywhere it is perpendicular to the plane of that surface. Everywhere. This way. So this is the reason while we consider the 3D surfaces, it is always suggested to divide that surface into small segments and take the direction of vector for that small surface, so that the area vector is always perpendicular to that small segment that we have considered from that closed surface. See, if you consider this as a cube, may not be looking like a cube, but if you consider it as a cube, then if you see the area vector for each face will be, for example, for this face it would be like this, for this face it would be like this, for this face it would be like this area vector, so for this face it would be like this, for this face it would be in this way, and for the bottom face it would be in this way. So this is how cube has been divided into 6 faces, and each face direction is different, but every time it is perpendicular to the plane that we have considered. Perpendicular here, perpendicular here, perpendicular here. Okay, so for 3D surface or closed surface, we divide that surface into small segments and predict the direction of the area vector, and then we will find out the electric flux for that area linked. Okay, but usually for closed surface, area vector is considered only outward normal. Only outward normal, only outward. But in the case of 2D surface, as we have taken, this way is right, this way is right. But for closed surfaces, we take only outward normal as the area vector direction. Okay, so this is the major difference that you have to keep in mind about different surfaces. But the common point between these two surfaces is area vector is always perpendicular to the plane of the surface. But if it is 2D surface, we can either take the direction of area vector in inwards direction or outwards direction. In both ways we can consider. But for closed surface, which is 3D surface, only outward normal is considered as area vector direction. Okay, now you might have got an idea about which is 2D surface, which is 3D surface, and what is the direction of area vector for each kind of surface. Okay, so with this knowledge on vector, area vector, now we will go back to our original topic, electric flux, and see what is electric flux and how it is related to the area vector that we have discussed till now. Okay, area vector is going to play very important role in the case of electric flux. That is why I have taken this much amount of time to make you understand what is area vector and what is its direction. Okay. Okay, so this is electric flux definition. As I said in the beginning of the lecture, it gives us the measure of electric field lines passing through a given surface normally. Okay, so it is the total number of electric field lines passing normal to the surface. Passing normal to the surface. And most importantly, it is a scalar quantity. What is electric field lines? They are imaginary lines drawn in electric field, which is the path of positive charge placed in the electric field. If you have not watched my video lecture on which electric field lines was discussed, please do watch it so that you would get very good information about electric field lines from watching that video. Okay, so electric flux is a scalar quantity which is a number of electric field lines, total number of electric field lines passing through a surface normal to it. For example, imagine this is a surface that I am keeping in the electric field region. Imagine there is some electric field region here produced by some charge distribution, and if I keep this surface in this way and electric field direction is this, if this is electric field direction, and if I keep a surface in the electric field, right, the electric field lines passing normal to this surface means in this way, means along the area vector. See, area vector is normal to the surface, right? The number of electric field lines passing normal to the plane of this surface means in this way. All the electric field lines which are passing through this plane surface normal to it, if you count all of them, then that is electric flux. See, so many electric field lines are drawn in a specific region. Now if you place one object which has a surface, and the number of lines passing through this plane surface normal to it is electric flux. And it is a number, it is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity. See, to make you understand this very easily, imagine airflow, for example. Some air is airflow is towards my left, for example. Airflow is towards my left. And I am standing inside house which has a window like this. This is my house window direction, and airflow is in this way towards my left. Okay, now if my window is in this way, do you expect any airflow through this? If this, no. Airflow or water flow, whatever, some kind of flow which has some velocity, right? So now if my window is in this way, then the airflow is very high through this window. So that is the amount of flux is increased. The amount of flux is increased. But when my window is in this way, no flux is observed, because no airflow, no air is passing through the surface, normal to the surface. Now if my window is like this and airflow is in this way, and the amount of the lines, the amount of air that is passed through this plane surface perpendicular to it would be the flux. So that is what in the place of air you can imagine electric field lines. See, you can just see, this is the surface and these are the electric field lines, and the electric field lines that are passing perpendicular to the surface is called electric flux, right? So the electric field lines going in this way, if my surface is in this way, and the electric field lines going in this way, which is not crossing this surface perpendicular to the plane of this surface, does not counted as electric flux. The flux is only due to the electric field lines crossing the plane surface perpendicularly in this way. In this way, right? So this is about electric flux, the total number of electric field lines passing the surface normally when that surface is placed in electric field, and it is a scalar quantity, and the formula for this electric flux is pi E equal to the dot product of electric field and area vector of that surface through which the electric field lines are passing, and E A cos theta, and because it is a dot product, it should not have any direction, it is a scalar, the resultant of this. Now if you observe this formula, electric flux is equal to E A cos theta. The most important points about electric flux we can write from this formula. The first point that we can write is electric flux is directly proportional to the strength of the electric field, E. If you see this, which means that if electric field is more, then the flux linked to that area of the surface will be more. See, the flux is linked to the area. It is the total number of electric field lines passing normal to the surface. Means what? That area. This flux is linked to the area. Okay? Which means that if electric field strength is increased, see what? How do you confirm that electric field strength is more? As I have discussed in my previous video when I have explained electric field lines, I said that if electric field lines are very close to each other, then at that point the electric field strength is more. If the density of electric field lines is more, then electric field strength is more. If electric field lines are separated with very much distance, then electric field strength is weaker at that point. So the density of electric field lines would tell you that the strength of the electric field, how much it is, the magnitude. Okay, so by keeping that in mind, if you observe these two pictures, I have considered electric field here whose direction is in this way as shown in the picture with the arrow mark. This is the electric field direction, and I kept one surface, 2D surface, in this way. See, what is the area of this surface now? Area vector direction is this. Okay, what is the confirmation from here? Area vector and electric field vector are in the same direction. Electric field vector is in this direction and area vector is also in the same direction. See, here theta is the angle between theta is angle between E and A. Okay, so A and E are parallel. So theta is 0. So what would be a flux here? For example, pi equal to EA. Pi equal to EA. But to make you understand more clearly, for example, if I count the number of lines passing through this area, if you see this picture, 1, 2, 3 lines are crossing the surface perpendicular to it. So let me write it as 3. 3 lines are crossing this area perpendicular to it. Only 3 lines are passing. Right? Now if I increase the strength of the electric field, which means that electric field lines are now very close to each other. So E is increased from this picture to this picture. E is increased. Electric field lines are closer to each other. Then if you count the number of electric field lines crossing this surface perpendicularly, see, in this case also the angle between electric field and area vector is 0. But the only thing that I have changed is the electric field strength is increased. The electric field lines are now closer to each other. Now if you count the number of electric field lines passing through this surface normally, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Flux is increased from 3 to 12. What happens? 3 to 12. How it is increased? Because of the increase of electric field strength. This. If E increased, electric flux linked to that area is increased. See, initially the lines are very, very far away from here. In this way. Only two, for example, only two field lines are entering. Now they are very close to each other. Area is same. Area is same. Now the only thing is they are very close to each other. See, all the four are entering now. If they are away from each other, only two are entering. Now if they are very close to each other, four are entering. See, electric field strength is increased. So electric flux depends on the magnitude of the electric field strength. If it increases, the electric flux linked to that area increases. Right? So you can also say, for example, if this is EA, pi E is equal to EA, here it will be pi E equal to some 2EA. If electric field is here is E2 is 2E and E1 is E. If here it is E, it will be EA. Here if E2 is taken as 2E, it will be 2EA. But to make you understand, I have just taken this number. Because flux is the number of electric field lines passing through that surface normally. So now we will see how electric flux linked to the area is depending on the area of the surface placed in electric field. See, from this formula, pi E is proportional to A also. Right? If A is increased, electric flux increased. How it is increased? Let us see with a small example. See, this is the direction of the electric field. Electric field strength is now not changed. It is fixed. Okay. So, what I did is, the area of the surface that I have considered is changed. Right? So, here I have taken a small area. And here I have taken big area. The surface, big surface having big area and small surface having small area. Now if you count the number of electric field lines passing through small area, here it would be pi E equal to 2, 1 and 2. Now here if you see, for the same electric field strength is not changed, but area is increased. Now if area increases, what happens? 1, 2, 3, 4 here. See, simple it is. Very, very simple. See, if this is a small area placed in the electric field like this, and these are electric field lines. See, only two are entering through this surface normally. Only two. Okay. Now if I take big area with the same electric field strength, all the four are entering. So that is how the area vector is playing very, very important role. Area, magnitude of the area. If it is increased, flux is increased. Right? You can say here like if here if A1 is some A, here A2 is some 2A, flux will be here EA, flux here will be 2EA. Area is increased. If this is A1 and this is A2. Okay, in both cases, area is parallel to electric field vector. In both cases. But only thing is, here I have taken smaller area. Here I have taken big area. And obviously, if area is big, more number of lines will pass through it. Flux will increase. If area is small, less number of lines will pass through it. So flux will be smaller. So very simple to understand. Okay. So now let us see how electric flux linked to the area of the surface is depending on the angle between electric field and area vector. See, if you see this formula, it is depending on cos theta also, proportional to cos theta. So it is depending on theta value. Right? So if you see these two pictures, the electric field strength is kept constant. Electric field strength is kept constant. But only thing that I have done is the area vector direction is changed. Okay? Electric field direction is fixed in this way. And area vector direction is changed by rotating it. For example, I placed surface in this way. What is the area vector direction? Perpendicular to this. Okay? So, and electric field direction is also in this way. Both are in the same direction. So, theta is 0. So, a flux linked to this area is maximum, that is EA. EA cos theta is 0. EA. Now, if you change the direction of the area vector, now the surface is placed in this way. And area vector, the electric field direction is in the same way, like this. But area is now this. Okay, this is area and this is area and this one is electric field. So perpendicular, E and A are perpendicular to each other. See, electric field lines are going in this way and area vector is this way. See, this is how. Do you find any number of lines passing through this area? Normally? No, right? But when it was like this, the flux lines are entering. But when it is like this, no. So the flux linked to this area now, in this case, is 0. Theta is 90. A is this way, A is this way, and electric field is this way. So flux linked to this area now is 0. Now did you observe the value of electric flux? When theta is 0, it was maximum. When theta is 90, it is 0. It depends on value of theta, the angle between electric field and area vector. But you might have got one doubt, like in this case, if E is this way and area vector, why can't we take area vector in this way? Because for 2D surfaces, area vector can be taken in both directions. But if I take area vector in this way, in that case the theta will be 180. This is A and this is A. Then if theta is 180, then in that case you will get pi E as minus EA. Minus EA. But usually what we do is, the area vector is considered in the direction of electric field. The area vector is considered in the direction of electric field. If electric field direction is in this way, area vector is also considered in this way instead of this way for 2D surfaces. But for 2D surface, area vector can be this way or this way, as I said in the beginning. Okay, but usually we consider this area vector instead of this, so that we take theta 0. But the concept here is theta value is influencing the flux value. Flux is depending on the angle between electric field and area vector. Okay, here it is maximum, here it is minimum. Okay, for intermediate angles between 0 and 90 or greater than 90, it would be different value depending on cos theta value. For example, if theta is 30, cos 30, if theta is 60, cos 60. So depending on the value of theta, this will change. Cos 30, cos 60, cos 90. So depending on the value of theta, what is theta here? If E is this, how area vector is changing? How this plane of the surface is in the electric field? Okay, so what you have to remember here is electric flux linked to the area of the surface is depending on the angle between area vector of that surface and electric field direction. Okay, so here I have taken another example where the area vector of the surface placed in electric field is making an angle of theta which is not 0, which is not 90. Okay, so in this way electric field direction is this and my surface is placed like this. Okay, so this is electric field direction and area vector is in this way. Area vector is in this way and the angle between E and A is theta. Now what is the electric flux in this case? The number of field lines passing through the perpendicular surface. See, electric field lines are in this way. But how many electric field lines are passing normal to the surface? Which in this case what you have to do is, you have to find out the component of the electric field which is in the direction of area vector. See, if you find out the component of electric field, E cos theta is the component of electric field in the direction of electric field, area vector. So that if this is A and E cos theta is also in the same direction. So E cos theta will contribute to the electric flux, but not E sin theta. E sin theta, how E sin theta component is it is in this way. The field lines corresponding to E sin theta are not along the area vector, are not passing through the surface normally. Only E cos theta is in the direction of area vector. See, if this blue marker is area vector and this black marker is E cos theta. So E cos theta is perpendicular to the plane. Electric field lines passing normal to the surface. E cos theta is normal to the surface, not E sin theta. E cos theta is in the direction of area vector. Okay, so in this way you have to resolve it for other angles between E and A. So here E cos theta contributes to the electric flux. This is the reason actually we have E cos theta here. Okay, so E cos theta contributes to the electric flux here. So this is for 2D surface. Now we will consider one 3D surface which is a closed surface of an irregular shape. It need not be a sphere, need not be a cylinder, it need not be a cube. Okay, so as shown in this picture, I have considered one irregular shape 3D surface which is a closed surface and electric field direction is in this way as shown here. Right? So as I said in the beginning of this lecture, whenever you have a 3D surface, for finding the area, the total area of that or the area vector direction, we divide the surface into small segments and each segment, the direction of that area will be perpendicular to that segment that we have considered, the plane of that segment. If you see here, I have taken one small segment ds, whose area is ds, and its area here will be perpendicular to this plane, that n cap represents that. And if I take ds here, the small segment, its area direction is n cap, perpendicular to this plane, that ds plane. So similarly everywhere, if you consider small segment on the surface of this body, the area vector is perpendicular to the small segment plane that you have considered. N cap represents the direction of area vector in each case. And if I want total area of this surface, then I have to integrate, or I have to sum up all those ds, the area of each segment. Then I will get total area of this irregular shaped body or any 3D surface body. Okay. So for example, if you consider this, where I have taken ds is small area segment, its direction is n cap, perpendicular to this plane of this segment, and electric field vector is making an angle less than 90 degrees. Okay, if theta is less than 90 degrees, the cos theta value will be positive. Okay, if theta is less than 90 degrees, cos theta value will be positive, no matter what is it, but it is positive. Right? If you come here ds is this, and area vector direction is upwards, perpendicular to that ds, that surface. And here electric field is making an angle of 90 degrees with the area vector of this segment. Then cos theta will be 0, flux linked to this small segment will be 0. Here the flux linked to this small segment of area ds is positive. Now come back here. Theta is greater than 90 here. I have taken one small segment here and its area vector direction is this way, and it is making an angle of theta greater than 90. Theta greater than 90. See, if theta is greater than 90, what happens? The cos theta value will be negative. Flux will be negative here through this surface. Now come back here. I have taken one small segment ds whose area vector direction is in this way, n cap, and angle between electric field vector and area vector here is 180 degrees. They are in this way, electric field and n cap. So 180 degrees. Again cos 180 is minus 1. So again negative, flux is negative. Right? Now come back to this. I have taken one small surface here and its area vector direction is this way, and electric field direction is this way. It is again greater than 90, negative, flux is negative. Now here area vector direction is downwards, perpendicular to this ds, and electric field direction is this way. So 90 degrees here, flux is 0. Now here if you take one small segment here, area vector is this way, perpendicular to this plane of this surface, and electric field direction is this. Here it is less than 90, here positive, flux is positive. Now if you carefully observe all these segments, for theta less than 90, the flux is positive. For theta greater than 90, flux is negative. For theta is equal to 90, flux is 0. See where you are getting all these values? For these three things, theta is greater than 90. 90 here, 180 which is greater than 90, theta is greater than 90. You are getting flux value negative here. And for these three, theta 0, cos theta 1 positive, theta less than 90, cos theta positive, theta less than 90, cos theta positive. And for these two, cos theta is 0, flux is 0. The conclusion from this we can make is the flux is entering through this surface here and leaving from this surface. Okay, which means that here we have negative flux, here we have positive flux, entering flux, emerging flux. inward flux is taken as negative, outward flux is taken as positive. Inward flux is taken as negative, outward flux is taken as positive. This is what we can confine from this. If I want total flux passing through this surface, I have to integrate each flux. See, d pi e here is the flux due to one small surface, that is E dot ds. D pi is flux linked to this ds, flux linked to this ds, flux linked to this ds. I will have all these d pi e values. Then if I want total flux, that would be pi e equal to integral d pi e. Integral d pi e is this. So in this way, you have to divide the surface into small segments whose area is ds, and find out the direction of that ds, and find out the angle between electric field vector and the ds area vector, small segment area vector. And if theta is less than 90, the flux will be outwards and positive. If theta is greater than 90, flux will be inwards and negative. If theta is 90, the flux is 0 there. If I want total flux, if I can add all the flux values, which is an integration of it. So this is why this formula is general formula, which we can use for any surface, closed or whatever, open. But uniform or non-uniform electric field, whatever. This is a general formula. But whereas pi e equal to E dot A, pi e equal to E dot A is useful for only (2D) surface, that is open surface, comma uniform electric field. Uniform electric field. But if E is changing and if area is changing, if the shape of the body is different, if it is irregular shape, then this formula is more helpful than this. So that we can divide that surface into small segments, and small segment area is ds. And adding up all the individual flux values, so that you will get the total flux linked to that surface. So this is more general formula than this. But whereas A here is area of one 2D surface or open surface, where area is not changing, or if E is fixed, uniform electric field, then it is useful. If E is changing also, we can use this formula. For example, E1 dot ds, E2 dot ds, E3 dot ds. So depend, for example, if here it is E1, if here it is E2, if here it is E3, E4, E5. So in each case, what is the electric field and what is the area vector. So in that way, you can add all of the individual fluxes and substitute in this integration formula. You can get the total flux linked to the surface. You can just add all the individual fluxes, which is nothing but an integration. Okay, so this is how we calculate the flux linked to the surface placed in electric field, whether it is closed surface or open surface. Okay. So now we will see some set of problems based on electric flux, right? So the question number 1 that I have taken is, this is the electric field direction in which a 2D surface, a square shaped object is placed in the electric field. Okay, so this way. This way it is placed. What is the direction of this electric field? Sorry, area vector? This. Or inwards. What is the angle between E and A? Angle between E and A is 90 degrees. Right? So that is why I put one dot here outwards. Area vector direction is dot. Okay? So it's no matter what is its area, magnitude, the theta is 90. So cos 90 is 0. So flux linked to this area will be 0. Okay? The answer for this is this now. Now I have taken another example. The electric field direction is this way, and I kept the surface in this way. Now area vector direction is this, and electric field direction is also this. Angle between E and A is 0. So pi E will be EA cos 0. Pi E will be E A square, where A is A square of side A. So this is flux here. So this is for 2D surface. So open surface. Now if I take one closed surface like cube, then how to find out the flux linked to this surface placed in electric field? Again, electric field direction I have taken in this way, and a cube is placed like this. Okay, the cube is placed like this. So this may not be looking like a cube, but imagine, so it has 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As I said, for closed surfaces, it is always suggested to divide the surface into small segments and find out the flux linked to each segment and sum up all of them so that you will get the total flux linked to this surface. Okay, so for that what I am doing is I am dividing this into small segments. So I am taking it as some 1, this face, where is this? So I am taking this side as 1, okay, and the top side as 2, top side, and this side as 3, this one, and bottom I am taking it as 4. Okay, what about this and this? This will be, I am taking this as some 5, this side, and this side I am taking it as 6. I can take anywhere this side. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, this is 5, and this is 6. Okay, now let us write pi E1. What is pi E1? Flux linked to the first surface, surface 1. What is its area? See, I am taking the side of the cube is A. This is A, this is A, this is A, every side is A because it is a cube. Okay, the area of the first surface is what? This one. Right? Area of the first surface. It is A square. See, you can say area of each face is A square. Area of each face is A square. Area of each face is A square. So here what I can write? Pi E1 I can write as EA cos 180 degrees, because you can see this area is this and electric field direction is this, area is this. So here 180 degrees. So this is minus EA square, because A is A square. Each face, area of each face is A square. Cos 180 is minus. So similarly, if you take 2, area vector for 2 is this way. And for 4 also it is this. Area vector for 2 and 4. Perpendicular to electric field. 2 and 4 way areas. Area of fourth phase and area of second phase is perpendicular to the electric field direction. Which means that I can write pi E2 is equal to pi E4 is equal to 0, because cos 90, theta is 90 for this phase and this phase. And what about pi E3? See, pi E3 is this one, and electric field direction is also this. Pi E3 is this one. Electric field direction is also this, area vector and electric field. So theta is 0. So if theta is 0, I can write it as EA cos 0, which is equal to EA square. Because A is A square. So what about 5 and 6? 5 is this and 6 is this. Right? So 5 and 6, the flux linked to phase 5 and phase 6 will also be 0. See, this is the blue marker is electric field direction. Black marker is the area vector of this sixth phase. 90 degrees between them. Similarly, area vector of fifth phase and electric field direction is also 90 degrees. So in this case also, the flux linked with fifth and sixth will be 0. Phi E5 is equal to phi E6 equal to 0. So now we have got flux linked to each face of the cube. Flux linked to each face of the cube. Okay, pi E1, pi E2, pi E3, E4, pi E5, pi E6. If you observe, only pi E1 is minus EA square and pi E3 is plus EA square, and all other four fluxes linked to other four faces is 0. So the total flux linked to this cube now will be sum of all these 2 plus pi E3 plus pi E4 plus pi E5 plus pi E6, which is nothing but EA square minus plus EA square, which is 0. The answer for this is 0. So this is how for closed surfaces we calculate flux linked through that surface by dividing the surface into small segments and finding the area vector, magnitude and direction, and finding the flux linked to each segment and adding all of them. So that is how we have calculated here. And I forgot to tell you in the beginning of this lecture, electric flux has units, and unit for electric flux is Newton meter square per coulomb. Newton meter square per coulomb. How did we get that? Because electric flux is E into A cos theta, and E has unit of Newton per Coulomb, unit for E, and unit for area is meter square. So E into A, so Newton meter square per Coulomb. So whenever the problem is given to you to find out the electric flux, you have to write units for the answer also. Okay, so Newton meter square per Coulomb is the unit for electric flux, and it is a scalar quantity which does not have any direction. Okay, so hope you have understood the importance of electric flux and how area vector is playing an important role in the case of electric flux, and how we calculate electric flux for each surface placed in electric field. And we have also seen how electric flux is changing with respect to E, with respect to A, with respect to theta. Right? And in the next video lecture, we will discuss how this electric flux is leading to the Gauss law, which is very, very important concept in electrostatics. Okay, so hope you have understood. Thank you very much.